Many of you asked me to do a tutorial of the ReSound Smart 3D app. I've done a similar tutorial to other applications, and since you'll ask, I'll do this one as well. Whether you have one of the ReSound hearing aids that you can see on the list over here, or the Jabra hearing aids, or the Beltone hearing aids as well, you are all using the same ReSound application. Now it's important to know that based on the brand and the model that you are using, some of the things in the application, some of the features may or may not look the same or may not be available, but the app works the same way in a general way. And most of the foundational features are the same across all brands and all models. My name is Guy and I'm a hearing health coach. I myself have been managing severe hearing loss and tinnitus for close to 15 years now. I am now using all my experience and all my knowledge to help people just like us. So let's jump into the application and let's start with the overall navigation. First, you will see on the top that there are a bunch of icons that represent different programs. You can click on those icons and you can see how the application is changing between different programs. Underneath each program, there are two presets to help you tune and focus on different sounds. For example, if I'm in the outdoor program, I can focus on speech clarity just by pressing on that preset button. I can also press on the noise filter to filter noises around me. Now it's important that you understand that these presets are not changing the program, they are just applying different presets to the program that you are now using. So let's take the outdoor program and go to the sound enhancer. You see that now the equalizer is just flat across all the frequencies. I can now start moving them manually and increase or decrease different frequencies from the low, middle and high. However, if I use one of those presets, for example the speech clarity, and now I go into the sound enhancer, you will see that the application is now tuned for speech clarity. In the middle of the screen, you have the volume, which right now for me is set to low so that you don't get any feedback into the recording. You can also separate the left from the right and control the volume separately for the right and the left. If you are using hearing aids that support Bluetooth LE and it's enabled right now, for example the ReSound Vivia that I just reviewed a few days ago, and you can see the full review right here, they have Bluetooth LE enabled, which means that I can now look for Bluetooth LE broadcasts around me just by clicking on that button. Now if your hearing aids do not have Bluetooth broadcast enabled right now, you are not gonna see that feature. Lastly, for the general navigation, we have the buttons on the bottom of the application. These switch you between the status that show you the status of the hearing aids and how much charge they have in them, assuming they are rechargeable batteries, of course. Then you have the My ReSound section, and finally you have a section that you can use for setups and different settings. The Home button will take you back to the home screen. Before I move into the other sections, I just want to remind you that the application is coming with a few programs already defined for you. However, don't forget that you can define your own programs as well. So for example, if I take the all-around program, which is the automatic program that you will be in most of the time, and I go to the sound enhancer and I decide to increase the treble, which is the high frequencies, and reduce the bass, just for example, I can now add these settings as a separate program. I do that by pressing the Add to Favorite. I will now give it a name, and I can name it whatever I want. I'm just going to say Guy, and I will save it. And now, whenever I want to move to these settings exactly, I can just choose that program. So if I go to the home screen, again, remember I can do it either by using the icons on the top and just move to Guy Program 2, or I can just swipe the program until I get to Guy Program 2. Either way, you can save multiple programs which are customized to you based on your needs. If you are looking for new hearing aids, please consider using the link in the description below to check for the best prices on over-the-counter and premium hearing aids. If you're not looking for new hearing aids right now, but you appreciate the work that I'm doing, please consider just using the support link below just to show your support. Everything is appreciated. Let me move now to the My ReSound section. I'm not going to cover everything, but I'm going to cover the most important things. So first of all, you have an option to find your hearing aid. If you ever misplaced your hearing aids, you know how stressful that can be. If you enable the location services for this app, you will be able to click this feature and the application will show you on a map where are your hearing aids in relation to you. If your hearing aids support tap control, which most of them do, you will be able to configure the behavior of tap control with your hearing aids. For example, right now you can see I can double tap on my hearing aids to accept calls as they come in from my phone. Then you have a learning section, which I do recommend that you look into it. You can see different functions of the application and a nice explanation on each one of them. For example, let's go to the favorite and you will see now an explanation that shows you how to use that feature. I can also look at ReSound Assist, which we will talk about in a second, and you will see an explanation on how to use that feature as well. So I definitely recommend that you spend some time, especially on features that you're not sure about. The guiding tips will just show you tips on specific features in the application. So for example, if I go to guiding tip and I choose the music program, it will just show me the tip for that program. The last part here is actually pretty important. This is how you're going to get assistance from your audiologist. So let's say that you've been using the hearing aids for a few days and you have some feedback and you need some changes. You can schedule a time with your audiologist and jump into the live assistance. What that will do, it will start a session between the audiologist and you'll be able to talk with the audiologist and make changes to your settings live at that moment. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you may not be available for all the hearing aids. The request assistance will allow you to request specific changes based on your feedback, and then your request is going to be submitted to your audiologist. They will make the changes and they will send them to you via the app. This means that you do not have to have a live meeting, so if schedules are a problem, you overcome that issue. You can just describe exactly what you need, what are your problems, your audiologist will make the changes and send them to your application and to your hearing aids. This is just an amazing feature that I think all manufacturers should adopt. The More section will allow you to do a few more important things. First of all, you can go in here and pair new hearing aids. The application will step you through the process, so it's really easy to follow and you should not have any problem with that. The next option is to pair any other accessories. So for example, if you got a remote microphone or a TV streamer, this is where you can add them so then you can control them from the application. The next section here is allow you to define the behavior of the application and what kind of helps and tips it will give you. And finally, you have Activate Check Fit, which will allow you to check if you placed your hearing aids correctly inside your ears. Don't forget that I offer free consultations to help you choose the right hearing aids for you. You can find that link below as well. I really hope that you found this quick tutorial helpful and that now you can use the application and your hearing aids more effectively. Remember, you can check my review of the very impressive ReSound Vivia hearing aids that were just released recently. You can check the full review right here, or you can check other hearing aids reviews on that playlist right here. Always feel free to use the comments below to send me any questions about this video, any hearing aids I reviewed, or anything that is on your mind. I'll see you in the next video.